How to prepare for new projects. Hi everyone, my name is Johannes Miari. I'm a strategy consultant, and on this channel I want to help you to learn necessary skills for your first years in consulting to have a successful career but also to live a balanced life. And today I want to talk about how you can prepare for a new project. For example, if you're stuck on a project doing your internship or as a full-time hire, so that you know what kind of questions you should ask yourself and how you can prepare yourself the best possible way for your first project weeks. And I remember the first internship that I did. At that time, I didn't prepare for it at all. And the first project, I thought, all I need to know about the project, I will learn it through the first weeks. Well, but then I quickly realized that I had no knowledge about the company and about the project. I didn't know exactly, who my teammates were. I had no idea about the business problem that we were tackling, and I had to learn that, through the first weeks. The issue was that you only have, one chance to make a first impression, and of course, then the impression was very bad because I basically knew nothing about the project and had to learn everything in the first weeks. And of course, that cost some time. And of course, it would have been better for the project team if I would have been already up to speed and would have been able to contribute already in the first week of being stuck on a project. So after that internship, I decided, okay, every time I'm stuck on a new project, I want to be prepared. And over the past 4 to 5 years in consulting, some certain questions came out that I ask myself every time that I'm on a new project. And those are the questions that I want to share with you today. So I want to share 6 steps or 6 questions on how to prepare for new projects. The important thing to understand is that it doesn't really matter if you have only 1 hour or if you have a couple of weeks to prepare. Those are always the same questions that you should ask yourself. The only difference is that, of course, if you only have a couple of hours, that you do a quick research and try to answer those questions very quickly. If you have more time, of course, you can spend more time going through these questions. So with that being said, let's go through the 6 steps, through the 6 questions that you should ask yourself if you want to prepare for a new project. And question number 1 is, what is the project scope? I think it's very important that before you start a project, you try to understand what the project scope is, and there are several questions that you can ask yourself. For example, what is the goal of the project? Who is the client? Where is the project? What is the intended timeline? Also, what has been done so far? Where are we now in the entire project process? And also, what is the setup? So do you have to travel? What is the working mode? What is expected of you? Those questions really help you to understand what the scope is, what the overall setting is for this project. And those are some very basic questions that I would really ask myself before I join a new project. The typical sources for that are that you read through the proposal or through existing documents that have been created for a project. At the beginning of a project, this is typically the proposal, but if you are joining a project that is already running for a couple of months, for example, then we probably read through the latest and most important documents like steer code documents. Also, of course, you can talk to colleagues, so probably you will have a discussion or have a meeting with your project manager or with the partner where they guide you through the current project and give you a little bit of background. Of course, you can also reach out to colleagues who are already on the project. Of course, this is not possible if it's a new project, but that you just speak to your colleagues and try to understand the scope of the project. Then the second question that you should ask yourself is, who is in my team? And some question that you should ask yourself is, what is the project structure, for example? What is my role in this team? Who are my teammates? And of course, also, what is the background of my teammates? And those questions help you to understand the overall setting, because as always, consulting is a people's business. And of course, you want to get along with your team. You want to know what your role is, how you can contribute. It always helps to understand a little bit, where your teammates come from, because you want to understand how can you complement and support them in the best possible way. So this is very important, and it's the second question that I would ask myself. And typical sources that you can use to get this information is, again, to read through the proposal, because typically there is the stuffing laid out. Also, you can talk to your colleagues again, like the project manager or the partner, or also you can take a look at the knowledge management system or your know-how system, where you will probably find a stuffing sheet and some background information of your colleagues. And of course, you can also always check LinkedIn to understand a little bit the background of your colleagues. Then the third question that you should ask yourself is, what is the business problem that you try to solve as a consulting team? And again, this is also very crucial that you ask yourself that question. And typical questions that you can ask yourself is, what is the overall business problem that we try to solve as a team? What kind of frameworks and concepts do I need in order to do this project? What are technical skills do I need? You know, for example, if we talk about a strategy project, you need different technical skills than if this would be, for example, an inventory optimization project. Also, what have we done before as a company in this area? Can I access some resources? And how can I learn what is needed? So is there any kind of information from previous project that you can use, or some frameworks that you can access that help you to do the project? Typical sources are, again, the proposal, then again, talk to colleagues, and of course, you know, the knowledge management, where you find also, you know, in most cases, a lot of resources that help you to do the project. And of course, you know, if this doesn't help, then you can also read books, check online sources, hire the research team or the internal research resources. This can all help you to understand what the problem is and how you as a consultant can solve it. Then the next question is, who is the client? And this is very important. And here I want to highlight a couple of things. First of all, I think it's important to understand, you know, some key facts about the client. So what is the revenue, the profit, how many employees do they have, what is the location of the company? So just the key facts. Also, you want to understand the historical development. So probably, you know, the past 5 to 10 years. So is the company in a growth phase? Is it declining? Is this in a stagnation? This is also important to understand. Then you want to understand the main products. So what are the main things that they sell? What does the product portfolio look like? Is it diversified? Is it very concentrated? Things like that. Also, what is the structure of the company? So what kind of divisions or regions are they operating? And what are the most recent developments, like, you know, any kind of news, maybe a change in the management, maybe some acquisitions that they did, maybe some programs that they announced. This is also important to understand. Sources that you can use for that is, for example, that you take a look at the company website, the annual report, for example, web research, that you again check the know-how management system, that you take a look at news sites, and that you check databases. Then question number 5 that you should ask yourself is, what is the industry? So after you did some research about the company itself, then I think it's important to understand the industry we are operating in. So for example, who are our main competitors? What are the current trends in the industry? What are industry developments? What are the latest industry news? Stuff like that. This really helps, you know, to set the overall or to understand the overall environment the company is operating, and gives you probably a very good understanding of the current situation of the company in the market. Well, sources that you can use is typically that you check the annual report, that you do some web research, that you check databases, also that you check the industry news websites, or that you maybe ask some experts. And then last but not least, and this is the last question, is who are important stakeholders? And it's also very important to understand, as I said, you know, consulting is a people's business. So you don't only need to understand who your teammates are, but also who important stakeholders are. And I would ask myself, you know, who are the most important stakeholders? Probably the management, also the project management. How do I pronounce their names? This is also very important. If they have complicated names, and try to get familiar with that up front. This helps you, to avoid embarrassing situations. Also understand their background, understand their type of personalities. Maybe someone in your company has worked with them before. Maybe you can get some information from them. Or what is their relationship to the project? Do they support it? Do they not support it? This is also helpful to know. So sources for that are, again, you know, that you talk to colleagues, that you check the persons on the internet or through LinkedIn. And this is something that you should also do upfront. So those are the 6 questions that I would ask myself upfront and before I start a new project. And those questions really help you to be prepared in the best possible way. If you want to learn more about necessary consulting skills that you need in your first years in consulting, then please check out the free masterclass. The link is below. There you learn what kind of skills you need in your first years and how you can prepare the best possible way for your consulting career. If you liked the video, then please subscribe to this channel, leave a thumb up. And with that being said, I wish you a very successful day. Hope to talk to you soon. Goodbye, Johannes.